Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with FX Market Insight for Friday, the 7th of September. Now, better late than never. It's more of a recap than anything else. Now, we've had the US non-farm payrolls out, and they were slightly off the mark. So what we've got is, with our analysis, so just coming into the final stages of the week of trading, this is obviously a major event. Now, we've had a bit of an interesting result because dollar CAD obviously had got the double whammy. If I just give you a look here, if I just scroll up just a touch. Okay, so you got the non-farm payrolls there. And the number 130 versus 158, so slightly weaker. Private payrolls, it doesn't really usually come into play, but if it's in this situation, it's weaker as well. So that's sort of added to the downside. The unemployment rate was, as expected, a little bit of better average earnings, but they've sort of brushed that aside and really focused on the weaker non-farm payrolls number. Now, at the same time, the Canadian employment numbers released a much higher outcome than was forecast. The rate's steady, and a bit of a kicker in there. Full-time employment was up as well. So weak dollar data, strong CAD, that leads to a pretty decent move on the downside here in dollar CAD. So if I just take you back over here to the charts, you'll see that most of the other pairs are sort of starting to just drift a bit higher. Well, they're getting a little bit of momentum, I should say. The Aussie and Kiwi, now those markets have been short for some time, probably getting squeezed out on this Friday. Dollar yen, well, it's starting to sort of edge higher on the hourlies, but overall not too far away from just a sideways market. Euro, looks like it's found a bit of a home again around 110.40. And sterling, well, it's shooting to the top side on, the possibility of, Brexit is imploding. Johnson wants to have an election. They're trying to block that election sort of side of things. So it's rallied primarily because it looks like if they do Brexit, they will do it with a deal, not without a deal, which Johnson's pushing for. Now, dollar CAD, as you can see, sitting around 132 sort of 20. The data comes out, it's off 60 points. It's not. It's probably the best momentum, short-term momentum trade off the data, but that's where we are. So, bit of a shift in the overall dynamics of the dollar. So when I come back to the analysis, if we just have a bit of a scroll through here, you'll see that the the dollar pairs themselves have lost a lot of upside momentum. Okay, on the dollar index itself, pretty much neutralized after those non-farm payroll numbers. Dollar yen, a little bit mixed, up on the hourlies, down on the weeklies. Dollar CAD, well, overall it's sideways, but we have got downside momentum at the moment. And if we just go down to the bottom pairs there, this is a bit of a change. It's been a while since we've seen this, but we've got sterling, Aussie and Kiwi, on the shorter time frames in particular going up. And that's sort of just, they've pushed through some daily trend lines. That's why you get these stops triggered. Overall, the fundamental bias for these pairs is down. So, I'm not looking to get long. I'm looking to get short on rallies or a break back down through those resistance lines that they've broken. All right. And euro, well, it's had its run sort of yesterday and now neutralized, so sort of trading sideways. And as far as there's no more real aggressive data coming out for the rest of the week. Obviously, we've got a good 4.5 hours of trading to go, but unless we see something from Donald, I don't think we're going to see any more major changes from where the currencies are just at the moment. So just the overall theme or market conditions, normal liquidity, US dollar losing momentum. And as I said, that's pretty much neutralized a lot of the opportunities for us. If anything, you're really coming back to your longer term time frame. So like on the Aussie chart, you can see this thing's got a lot of room here, potentially to go up towards 69.80. Okay, but this is what we're dealing with now. We get these currencies moving higher when their fundamental perspective is actually down. So a little bit tricky. All right, guys, that's it from me. Sorry about the delayed updates this week back in New York. So everything should be back online, and we'll keep you tuned up. All right, guys, have a good trade day or the remainder for the week. Cheerio.